All right, to you, Chair Buck, we are live and good to go.
Thank you very much. Welcome, everybody, for our Kevin Monaghan Accessibility Advisory Committee meeting today. We do have quorum, so at this time, I'd like to call the Accessibility Advisory Committee meeting to order on January 22nd, 2026 at 1 p.m. We will start with our land acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge that the Township of Kevin Monaghan is located on the Treaty 20 Mississauga territory, in the traditional territory of the Mississauga and Anishinaabe, and we offer our gratitude to the First Nations for their care for the teachings about these lands. May we honor these teachings. We will take a look now at the approval of the agenda. As we do have two members that are attending virtually, we will also have to record votes for each matter of business today. After we get the mover and seconder, we'll ask the clerk to do a recorded vote. So for the approval of the agenda, if I can get a mover and a seconder. Councillor Byrne, Leslie, thank you. Clerk, will I get you to conduct the recorded vote that the agenda for the Accessibility Advisory Committee be approved as presented?
Thank you, Chair Buck. Leslie?
Yes.
Lucy?
Yes.
Councillor Byrne?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Carried. Thank you.
Thanks. Disclosure of pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof. Are there any pecuniary interests to note for this meeting today? Seeing none, we will carry on. Minutes of the meeting held on November 27th. If I can get a mover and a seconder. Councillor Byrne, Leslie, thank you. And we'll ask the clerk to conduct a recorded vote that the minutes of the Accessibility Advisory Committee meeting held on November 27th, 2025 be adopted as presented.
Thank you, Chair Buck. Lucy?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Councillor Byrne?
Yes.
Leslie?
Yes.
Carried.
Excellent. We will jump into the general business, the draft site plan for the Highlands of Millbrook Elementary School.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Today we're discussing the Highlands Elementary site plan. To orient ourselves, if we could note the key plan in the upper right-hand side. From there, you can see the intersection of County Road 10 and Paulus Line. And our school site is a healthy distance from that intersection. It's just west of the bulk of Tower Hill North subdivision and Tower Hill South subdivision, but north of the future what we call CSU subdivision on the south side there. So from County Road 10 and Falls Line, we head west along Falls Line till we get to Flaherty, which would bring us to our main site plan, traveling north on Flaherty and then to Robinson Street. We have two main entrances, one on Flaherty Street that is a one-way directional path from vehicle path into the parking lot. There's a kiss and ride or a drop-off section in front of the pathway and a parking lot, staff parking lot primarily. On Robson Street, we have an entrance and an exit, primarily for school buses, and another pathway for drop-off or vehicular traffic as it's going through. And again, the staff parking lot on that side. There are two accessible parking spots in the main parking lot and one in the childcare facility parking lot. There are 3 pathways, pedestrian pathways entering the site, and they continue on. I think that's the primary, unless we're not going to talk about the playgrounds at this point. This is primarily relatively easier or relatively simpler than the other ones that we've had, smaller in scope. So if there's any questions, we can start there.
Anybody have questions or comments?
I see the one accessible spot in the parking lot off of Flaherty Street, and it might just be the one that I'm looking on my iPad. are the accessible spots in the parking lot off of Robson Street kind of where it says proposed fire hydrant? Yeah, okay, I got it. Okay. I just had one question. It's kind of not necessarily about the layout of the parking lots and whatnot, but when we're thinking about access from the subdivisions, are we going to have, I know this is getting ahead of it, but a crosswalk off of like across Fallis Road? Or would the access be primarily just off of the street to the west? What is it, Flaherty Street? Is that the intent there? Wasn't able to really clearly make it where the sidewalks would be.
The sidewalks on Falls Line and Flaherty,
Yeah,
you're right, the site plan doesn't show. Drew, do you want to jump in on that?
This,
I think it does.
Yeah,
That's
the
a-
Flaherty one is shown,
and it follows all the way around to Robson,
so,
and then Fallis line, if you scroll down a bit, Mark.
it's
Just
not,
right along here.
it's not labeled, but there are sidewalks on both. There will be both sidewalks on both sides of Falls Line.
and then those are those residential lots to the south of the school?
Yes,
Okay,
and
And
to the east on your left hand, on your right hand side of the page is a natural channel
right.
feature with setbacks, so that's be a ravine of sorts.
So from a pedestrian perspective, where would the pedestrian flow of traffic be for this school? Would it be primarily, like if you're walking, where would its foot traffic enter? Is it anticipated that it would enter off of Flaherty, or would it be entering off of Robson? Or
Great.
yeah,
We don't ultimately know, so
Okay.
as,
Yeah.
Tower Hill South is the only one that's built out, or the
Right.
area local to here that's built out. We don't know where all the students would be coming from. Presumably, the surrounding subdivisions would be the primary users. That would be my guess, I don't know.
yeah,
So as students would be walking from Tower Hill South, from CSU, Public Works has asked for a crossing or potential for a crossing
Right.
at Cross Falls Line at the Flaherty intersection.
perfect.
That's one of their comments. And then the students in the Tower Hill North presumably would be coming along Robson Street.
Right. And do we think that one accessible spot is adequate in is that referred to as, is that the child daycare spot, or that's staff parking?
That's the child daycare facility side. So the
Right.
school grounds are split between the elementary school and the childcare facility, so they're supposed to be sort of separated, so there isn't a lot of crossover, especially for drop-off time. Again,
Right.
one daycare drop-off at the same time as school drop-off. So, or not to intermix, but I mean, that intersection is gonna be full.
Yeah,
I don't have the math in front of me, but I did check and it does meet our accessible parking requirements.
Through you, Chair Buck, you may not be able to see, but I think Councillor Byrne has a comment or question.
Absolutely, Councillor Byrne.
Through the chair, so we can get down some basics first for me. Is the entire school property gonna be chain link fence, or is it gonna be able to be accessed from the sidewalks at any point in time? The other thing I'd like to know, what's the capacity of the school supposed to be? How many classrooms do they expect? How many grade levels do they expect? To see if this footprint even works for what they're looking to do.
I'm sorry, each of your, is the whole site chain linked? No, just the,
So there'll be access from every side road right across the yard to get into the school.
the.
Huge
Don't have a
side road,
problem with
yeah.
These two sides are fenced. those two sides are no.
This big buffer here, what's that?
That's-
supposed to be?
That's residential.
That's gonna be actual residential units?
They're all have.
Okay,
There's a 1.8 high board fence along the back of the residential and a 1.8 meter high chain link fence along here. This is also a retaining wall on here, so the fence is actually gonna be higher than,
and this is not part of the school at all?
no, not at all. It ends here, and this is the a ravine. This is the water course that they have developed in there.
Right,
If we're looking here, it's this piece along here.
so they know what the capacity they're looking for children in the school?
They are predicting
So,
35 employees. There is potential for 2 portables. I can get you all these numbers.
That's fine, I'm just looking at this footprint, you basically have.
20
26.
classrooms, so they need 30 spaces for that. It is supposed to be K-8. Number of students, it's in the bike parking.
They have the occupant load for.
So you basically have 20,
Oh, yeah.
25 to 26 spots to park.
657,
How many, sorry,
657
is the guess?
Yeah. total occupant load. That's students
And
and
that's with the full second story? Or is that gonna be in 2 different segments? They're gonna build this 2-story building right day one?
Yep.
Okay. Just looking at the capacity of the grounds for the number of kids they wanna put in, cause that's the biggest problem we have right now. The South Millbrook School is packed, right? And I don't even know, I think the population down there is up around 600 right now, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
But that's daycare students, teachers.
this is
Everything
showing
is 657.
total occupant load.
So
So,
like, I don't.
That adds up.
oh yeah.
I don't even
no,
know if it's
there's-
gonna work on the square footage they have, so.
That's,
This draft is from the school board, Pine Ridge?
Yep.
Okay. Yep.
Any other questions or comments?
want to raise your point? You want me to do it?
you can go ahead.
In our early discussions, the pathway off Flaherty Street, one of our comments is that the pathway could probably benefit by being on the south side of the parking lot, so that pedestrian access from Falls Line north on Flaherty Street wouldn't have to walk past the parking lot to get into the school zone. So why not put it here so that we can enter on both sides?
Well, why would you not have both? Cause this is all gonna be residential here eventually at some point in time, that's what their plan is, correct?
On that side of the street will be,
Yes.
Yeah.
but there's no crossroad.
I
entry.
realize, but any children walking this way are not going to go way down there and come back, they're gonna cut across.
That's
Given
why,
age,
that
that's
yeah.
why we want this pathway down here.
I'm just saying, why wouldn't you have both? Cause you're not gaining anything, you're not gonna,
Sure.
right? There's gonna be all kinds of residential this way, coming this way to the school. Why would you eliminate that to
I
add,
would presume they would come in here,
well, where's the doorway to the school? It looks like here.
here, that's the daycare,
That's it.
Yeah.
so they wouldn't go.
Human nature is to take a shortcut.
Glad to hear that. That was one of my comments is there's gonna be a lot of foot traffic coming in Flaherty off of Falls, so that would be ideal to have that sidewalk on that end, or both would be perfect. One thing I did like is if you exit the school towards Robinson Street, anybody could get out, walk on a sidewalk, get around to the main street or to the street without having to cross vehicle traffic. Nice horseshoe shape in and out. I like that. I don't see the measurements of sidewalk width. But if it's to ratio to where the fire access route is, this may be okay, but I would like to ask that any of the sidewalks be made wide enough that anyone in a wheelchair or a mobility device that was on the sidewalk could have a companion, parent, friend walk beside them comfortably without having to balance between grass and sidewalk or driveway and sidewalk. If that's could be a possibility.
Through you, Chair, to yourself, the sidewalk width is showing at 2.8 meters, 2.85. There's a pinch point where the depressed curb off in front of the school at 2.2 meters. And between the bike parking and the green space in the triangle there is 3.8 meters wide.
That should be good. Okay. Just
Yep.
a couple of pinch points.
If that helps.
It does. Thank you.
Through you, Chair Buck, I don't know if you have any other comments, but if not at this moment, I do believe Councillor Byrne has another comment he'd like to make.
Sorry, keep looking at the map and not the screen.
no,
Yes, please, Councillor Byrne, go ahead.
Through the chair, so that pinch point you're talking about, that's gonna be a tapered spot, so anybody coming across there, why does the constraint of that taper have to include a pinch point? Like, why couldn't it be either increased? Like, I just don't understand why a taper is gonna create a pinch point.
Because one wouldn't be a flat surface. They're just showing.
You're gonna go from the grade of the driveway up to the grade of the sidewalk on a taper.
Yes,
So even if you're in a mobility unit or a wheelchair, that taper shouldn't be unmanageable, should it? Like, can't that be shaped in such a way that? I don't know,
I
just ask.
so yep, as a comment to be made for sure.
As long as it's a gradual taper, it's normally manageable with a wheelchair.
Yes,
It's when they're sudden that it's a problem. In my experience, anyway.
For you, Chair Buck, to either Matt or Drew, just for clarification point as we continue to learn together, is there a minimum standard to comply with AODA on that grade tamper to ensure that it wouldn't be too steep of an incline for someone with a mobility device, or is that something that this committee should consider recommending as a consideration?
Do you know it off the top of your head? There is a standard.
Yes, there is a standard. I don't know, remember it word by word off the top of my
Yeah.
head, but there is specs in the OPSD that speak to it. And that's what we would reflect in any design that we're approving.
Through you, Chair Buck, to you, Chair Buck, does that kind of align with what we're envisioning? As long as it complies with that specification?
Yes, I believe so. Any of the new construction I've seen recently is good and would be acceptable. Where it runs into an issue is some of the older stuff. If you're walking down the sidewalk on Tupper Street towards downtown, the driveway cuts come up on you pretty quick if you're not watching for them. But any of the newer construction I've seen has been acceptable.
Thank you.
Like I said, it's fairly small in scope, so
Looking forward to getting to see the playground areas and getting some feedback on that. That'll be interesting. Councilor Byrne. Sorry, Leslie, we're right with you.
Okay,
sure. So I'm taking these are all plants of some dimension of trees that are gonna be located around. What are they anticipating there that's not gonna create blind spots? Especially with so many around the parking areas that are obviously gonna, if this side's not gonna be fenced and that side's not gonna be fenced. Children are inherently gonna be traveling through there. I know it looks pretty, but it also creates hazards. So I'm just curious what they're anticipating.
your question, what are they anticipating?
For planning, like what are we gonna put in there? Like, it just seems, especially around the edge of parking lots where vehicles are already moving, you're already looking at kids kindergarten age and up. Just more obstacles, blind
If they
spots.
run through those trees to get across.
Well, I have
the
no
parkway?
idea what.
But is that what you're wondering? If there's any
Yes.
block to prevent that?
Well, I'm just saying, what are they anticipating to do? Because that to me is an inherent problem when you start creating blind spots.
I get where you're coming, to you, Councilor Bird, through Chair Buck. My understanding is, I've seen this when I'm driving around where you have trees that have grown up and they become a visual obstruction to some kid running on the sidewalk and you're approaching a curb, you don't see the kid running because of something that's on the sidewalk over
Yes.
there.
Yeah, like I know it all looks pretty in their diagrams and it's architecturally neat, but again, it's inherent.
And they start off small,
Yes.
what size are they gonna
Like
grow?
we look at North Cap and we're short of playground because they all thought they needed to plant trees 30 years ago, which in essence is okay. But now there's areas up there where they can't use as a playground because they can't see what the kids are doing, so you're not allowed in there.
I believe.
Garbage.
Okay.
Sorry, through you, Chair, the small blue outbuilding on the, what would that be, the northwest corner? Yes, that's a garbage enclosure. That was the question in the room.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes, sorry, Leslie, go ahead.
no, that's okay. I just, one, thing that I noticed is behind the garbage enclosure, there's a spot for snow storage. And I'm just thinking about that again, just from a kid perspective. Like, I see kids, you know, doing it up here in the subdivision, like they'll slide down if it's like a big hill. So I'm just wondering about the potential of like kind of piling snow there. When you think about it's, you know, it's right beside a parking lot, it's right beside a walkway. Maybe that's not the best place to use for snow storage. Just if we're planning on having that be one of the possible walkways or entryways into the building or into the property.
Okay.
I mean, ultimately they need place to put the snow. I understand that. I'm just wondering,
My guess is that that area of snow storage is primarily for the walkway area. To the south
okay.
lot, that's showing a larger snow storage area for, sorry, the childcare area for Mark. Is showing a larger area.
Mhm.
And your comment is also valid there. I would suspect this would be the bigger hill, which would cause the
Yeah.
issue.
I mean, they have to put it somewhere. I understand that. I just, you know, like just kids, like when they're walking home from school, like I see them sliding down the hill that in Tower Hill subdivision, right at the corner house where it goes down to County Road 10 or Tupper. There's quite the grade, and I see kids like sliding down that all the time, and I'm like just cringing because they're, you know, they're sliding like right off into the sidewalk, sometimes right onto the road. And when I see like a snow pile, like a pile of snow on a school property, that's just something that comes to mind from a not necessarily perhaps an accessibility perspective, but a safety perspective is, you know, how do we, I guess it's really up to the school as well to how do they manage that, to, you know, eliminate any kids accidentally sliding into traffic.
It's the best place for it,
Mhm.
because it's fenced either side as well.
But no way to get to.
Right, there's where this.
Yeah, there's no,
The kids,
That's
so that's
back
gonna be a
permit,
problem.
so.
Yeah, that's thinking you put a snow storage behind a building, but now.
no.
Through the chair.
Councilor,
Through the chair, so are there sections of this playground that are gonna be restricted to just the daycare? Or how are they gonna partition off the different age groups? Has that been discussed?
So yeah, that section, we're looking at the figure 8 section with sandbox landscaping. So that whole side is the daycare entrance inside. So essentially, when we did a walkthrough at Clarington is also building a sister school. It's basically the same school, same plans. It's a little bit smaller. This one is a little bit smaller than the one they're doing in Clarington, but we got to see how they have separated them. So yes, it's basically this is a lower floor. This would only be accessible from the daycare area. I mean, when they're hopping fences. Which,
The two imprinted.
you know,
mark.
the childcare playground that is at my kid's school, the larger kids don't want to use it, it's outsized for them, so. And they just know they're not supposed to.
Okay, Councilor Burn.
Through the chair, to that point, is there an address for the school in Clarington that I could drive by and physically see the sister school is already up and running and vacant?
It's not up and running yet, it's
Oh,
still
it's
under
not in place?
construction.
Oh,
Yeah, they're in the 3/4 of the way being built.
okay,
It is, I can get you the address, I can't think of it off the top of my
okay,
head,
that's fine. Yeah.
unless you remember.
There's not an actual.
Is it on the same size footprint?
The whole site,
No, it's larger.
The
The
school
school in
itself is larger.
Clarington,
Will be a bigger capacity, larger school?
yeah,
But
the-
similar layout.
same design and layout, just this one is condensed. The one they're building here is smaller, but
Because of the
it's
footprint.
gonna look the exact same.
But this one's gonna be smaller because of the area that's allowed there?
No, just because of the demand,
Okay,
the,
capacity,
yeah, the demand for students.
yes,
There's more in Clarington,
okay.
bigger school.
Um,
Leslie, yeah.
this is just a question, perhaps a future-based question. So looking at these plans and site plans, are there certain projects or buildings that the committee would provide input into the interior? Or how are these, just because I'm not familiar, how are these structures built to, I guess, ensure that the accessibility needs are being met inside the building? So, not only for students, but also for staff.
Are they
we're
on
outside that scope,
Pardon?
we're not in that scope.
Do you want?
No, go ahead.
So at this point, we aren't in that scope, and I think that's kind of what they're saying, but like we had talked about previously, all of the building code regulations that do require AODA compliance do need to be met. That is a standard, that is a requirement. Kyle's not here, so I don't want to speak on behalf of our CBO, but that is part of the requirements. I think that's probably the best answer at this moment, that when those designs get created, they do have to be built to the AODA standard.
Thank you.
Councilor Murray.
Through the chair, I'm just looking here on the side of this parking lot, between the playground for the elementary or daycare stuff. Are these supposed to be like cement bollards that you can't drive through? Is that what those are supposed to be, or what are they?
The kiss and rides where we're talking about right now, those are cars. Show them the kiss and like what that, yeah, right there, that's where it's parking at.
Which,
Are they the cars?
Yeah, they're showing car lengths.
Yeah.
is that what that's supposed to be? Cause I just know that they got all the rampage up in Toronto here a little while ago. Cause some moron drove through the front of this building and hit somebody, and then the knee-jerk reaction was, you have to put these barriers. So a car can't get through a building.
There is,
I didn't know.
there is a retaining wall here.
Okay,
Across
I'm not-
partially.
the playground is gonna be here for the daycare,
Yep,
right?
no retaining wall there. There's
Yeah,
no-
I think
So a fence, but nothing.
that's fine. I tried to figure out what they were, and I can't
You
get
know,
on a scale. No, I don't see anything on there that tells you.
okay. Because they're just showing how many car lengths would fit in with the size of spacing in between.
Yes.
The number of school.
Well, will you be able to pull in there and drop off? Is that the
That's
goal?
the intent, yeah.
Yes.
Anything additional? Seeing none? Can I get a mover and a seconder? Councilor Byrne,
For what?
this is to, for the general business draft site plan, that we, add this to the, general business.
So I think through you, Chair Buck, I think what we're looking for is just a motion that the accessibility advisory, just request that regard be given based on the AODA standard regulation 191.11, based on the draft site plan. And then if you would like us to include the access points and the sidewalk, both on the Flaherty side, we can do that as well. I do believe, based on staff's conversations in here, that grade will align with what the minimum standard is for AODA and mobile devices. So at this moment, I don't think we need to include that. But we can also request, like we did in our previous applications, should there be significant changes to this, that we request that they bring it back to the committee for consideration.
Yes, please. Yes. So we need a mover and a seconder for that. Councillor Byrne and Leslie, thank you. And we'll ask the clerk to hold the recorded vote for that motion in second.
Thank you, Paul,
Yes.
Leslie,
Yes.
Lucy,
Yes.
and Councillor Byrne.
Yes.
And that's carried.
Excellent. Great. Thank you. Last item of business today will be the adjournment. So if I can get a mover and a seconder for the Accessibility Advisory Committee meeting to adjourn today at 1:35 p.m.
Can I just, do
Yep.
we have and I hope I'm not speaking out of turn here, but do we have a resignation or no?
We will be having one at our next scheduled meeting. Unfortunately, yes. And so when we have our next call meeting, we will accept the resignation, and then we
Got
can
it.
move forward, hopefully with some future appointments.
Got
So hold tight. Hopefully we can fill those vacancies. If anybody knows anybody that's interested in joining the committee, please tell them to join. There's an active application open right now for the Accessibility Advisory Committee. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact myself, and I can guide anybody that needs it. So yes, we will be in touch following this meeting with future dates to hopefully continue with the great momentum this committee has already brought in.
Great.
So we just need a second, if that's right, just a mover and a seconder, and then a recorded vote.
Leslie and Lucy, thank you. And if we can get the clerk to hold the recorded vote for adjournment.
Councillor Burns, Paul,
Yes.
Lucy,
Yes.
and Leslie,
Yes.
and that's carried. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. And as the clerk has advised, we'll be in touch with the next schedule for our next meeting schedule.
Take care.